Hey, what's up guys? Bombing Science here, and today we're going to have a look at different mops and see how well they all drip and how they perform in terms of ink flow and drip potential. We've got 3 Grogs, a Molotow, a Krink, and a Junobo mop, and we're going to compare and see how they all perform on a glass surface. Alright, so we're going to start with a Junobo mop. Already I can feel that the plastic on this is pretty thick, but then if the ink comes out more liquid, maybe it'll even out in the wash. So we're going to find out. So I'm pressing pretty hard. And it's a bit translucent, and I don't really see any drips happening. A little bit over here, but for the most part, not very conducive to drips with this Junobo mop. So it takes a lot of pressure to get some drips, and even then. So if you want a clean line, Junobo is really good. It's very consistent, and it's unlikely to drip on you. In terms of the Krink, already the plastic feels a lot looser, probably just because of the radius of the bottle. And let's see how it fares. Alright, so already this is more liquid and also easier to have drip. Yeah, so the Krink drips a lot more. It's part of its reputation. So if you're someone who likes to have drippy tags, the Krink is pretty good for it. Now in terms of the Molotow covers all, the plastic feels thick again, but the ink looks more liquid, so we'll see how that does on this glass surface. Oh yeah, very drippy here. You can hardly read what was written there, so this'll give you drips for sure. And then if you don't want the drips, you can always apply less pressure for some clean lines, so that's not too much of an issue either. So nice and dirty. If you want a dirty tag, the Covers All mop does that really well for you. Alright, now with the Grog Mini 05 squeezer, which is 5 millimeters. Pretty good on the drip front. I'm not mad at all about that, so that's pretty good. Get your nice drips, and then if you want some clean lines, you can get those as well. So that's pretty good either way. If you want to get the drips, if you don't, you've got that going for you. Alright, now we've got the Grog 10-inch FMP. And we'll start by trying to not get it to drip too much, and then towards the end get some more drip in. So good clean line so far, and now when we're trying to get it to drip, having a hard time. It is dripping though, but it takes a bit of application for that. And finally we've got the Grog 10mm BPI, which is a much drippier ink than the FMP. So I'm expecting some good drips off of this off the get-go. It is relatively empty, so I will have to tilt it a little bit, but I'm not too worried. there you have it. So we have a wide variety of drips here going on. If we look at this Krink tag, we see that there's a lot of separate drips going on, and it keeps the letters quite legible, which is nice. You can really still read the word and still have a lot of drips going on at the same time. With the Molotow masterpiece here, I did go very heavy at first with the drips, and they just sort of washed all the way down, so it's very hard to read. I also did press a lot at the top of the letters, which made the drip go through the letters, making it harder to read. You can go smoother and you can go softer and get less drips, but if you do get drips with it on a smooth surface like this, it'll be along the whole letter and not along separate parts of it with individual drips. The Grog Mini Squeezer gave really good drips. I was very happy with that. So again, similar to the Krink, it gives lots of individual drips instead of washing along the whole letter, but also it gives very long drips, much longer than the Krink got. So the letters are legible, the drips are there. I wouldn't say there's good or bad drips. I think there's just a question of different style, and different people like different things. Some people like to keep things clean and crisp. Other people like to have it as messy as possible. So yeah, then in terms of the Grog FMP, I made sure to press more on the bottom of the letters, and so the letters remain quite legible around the top, but the drips happen at the bottom. That's a very easy way to make sure your letters stay legible while also having drips going on. It is harder to get drips with it. It is thicker. The way the ink is on the inside really affects the way the drips happen, as well as the bottle. So let's say this masterpiece ink is very liquid and it'll just wash right down, whereas others are much thicker, like the Genovo, which dripped a lot less. And then finally the BPI at the bottom. Similar to the masterpiece, it sort of drips along the letter, but it gives a nice sort of clean, even wash, and I didn't press too much, so the drips sort of were contained, not too pronounced, and keeps the letters easy to read. So these all perform differently and have different drip aesthetics, but all have their place under the sun. And I hope this helped you find which one works best for you and which one you want. And if you're looking for any of these, you can find them in the link in the description. Let us know which drips you like or don't like in the comments below. And thanks for watching. Have a great day.